Hello, this is the final part from our How to Master Your Emotions series based on the book How to Master Your Emotions. And today we are going to look at how you can use your negative emotions to grow. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Smash the like button. Thank you very much. Now let's get into the video. The first is how emotions can guide you in the right direction. And one of them is self-awareness. Self-awareness is such an important and integral component when it comes to your personal growth. And so without it, you can't do much to change your life. You wouldn't be able to change a problem until you realize it exists, right? And so what is self-awareness? And so self-awareness is your ability to objectively observe your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors without adding stories or interpretations to it. And so one of the things is to record your emotions. Yes, so on a scale of 1 to 10, at the end of the day, just sit down, use 10 minutes, and 1 being worst and 10 being the best. Between 1 to 10, how did I feel today? What mark would I give myself? Let's say 5. And so you start asking yourself, why do I feel, or why did I feel the way I felt? Why did I behave the way I behaved? Why did I react the way I reacted? Did anything lead to that feeling? What led to it? At what point was I able to change the way I felt? Did I become natural after a certain feeling? Did someone trigger me? If you're able to record your emotion, you have a clear picture of what is happening into your life on a day-to-day basis. So within just 10 minutes, you just sit and reflect on your day. How did things go? Did someone trigger me? Did someone say something to me that just made me explode? All those kind of things. It gives you a better understanding, and you'll be able to grow as a person if you know the things that triggers you, if you know what makes you angry, what makes you sad, what makes you depressed, what makes you happy. Now let's talk about the feeling of not being good enough. Millions of people around the world have felt this feeling at a point, or even currently feeling the feeling of not being good enough. And who has never felt that before? Maybe you have come to a place of self-awareness and self-actualization, but I'm sure throughout your life there has been a point where one day you just feel you are not good enough, and most of this feeling has killed so many dreams. You feel you are not good enough for the job, you feel you are not good enough for that school, you feel you are not good enough for that opportunity, and so you don't even try. You don't even give it a try at all. And so mostly people who have this feeling of not being good enough have self-low esteem. They look down on themselves, just so many things. And people even want to be polite to certain people, so they feel like, I'm not good enough to do this to this, I'm not good enough to appear before this person. And so because of these feelings and all of that, let's look at how we can master our emotions. And so there's the same things you already know. How do you master your emotions and become positive? Keep a gratitude journal or a positivity journal. Self-awareness is very important. Like, look within yourself, identify the things that make you feel this way, and start working towards how to make yourself better. But I want us to go on and talk about why we get defensive. There are just certain things. There are certain topics they don't mention in front of you. If not, hell will break loose that day. So why do we have that feeling or always getting defensive on certain topics? The need to defend yourself stems from the fact that you want to protect your story or your ego. There are certain things you have been told that you have come to believe them. And so if somebody comes to debunk those things you believe, then naturally there's an urge to be able to defend your points or to defend yourself. And so this defending of oneself is why people, extremists defend their religion, defend their political parties, and they are willing to do anything to defend that thing because you are trying to attack their beliefs. But now let's go further to look at why we usually focus on what people are thinking about us. He says that when you are young, you mostly care about yourself. You live with yourself 24/7, right? So you end up just caring about yourself and thinking about yourself. And when you are in your 20s, you always care about what everyone thinks about you. By the time you hit your 40s, you don't care what people think. And he says when you reach 60 years old, you realize that nobody was even thinking about you in the first place. And so you have to notice that people don't keep track of your past failure, or they are always on your social media page looking at your failures or your awkward moments, or care about about you as much as you think people care about you. And so for you caring about people thinking about you always, you have to notice that not everybody will like you. No matter how nice of a person you are, you wouldn't be liked by everyone. And so you care what other people think of you because you want them to approve of you. You might even sometimes want to fix your self-image so that they can approve. But then no matter what you do, people will always think of you the way they want to think of you. And no matter how great you are, no, it's not everyone that will like you. And so if you base your self-worth based on the opinions of others, then you always be at the mercy of other people trying to approve of you, which wouldn't even always happen. Another thing is that what people think of you is none of your business. I mean, you can't control people's thoughts. You cannot ask people to think of you the way you think they should think of you, and you cannot control it. So what they think about you is none of your business. What you can do is try to live your life with a true personality. Try to be yourself, authentic, true as much as possible, but you cannot control how people react or think about you or what they say about you behind your back, in front of you, anyway. And so throughout the rest of this book, the author raised certain emotions, emotions that can help us grow, but that can also be bad. One of them is resentment. He says that you resent people because they don't behave the way you expect them to behave about you, which, I mean, it's not reasonable, but sometimes that's why we resent people. You want the person to behave according to the way you expect things to be, but we are people who behave differently, we react differently, and so people will not always behave the way you expect them to behave. So you have to even just put that resentment behind somewhere. Another is jealousy, and he says jealousy comes from a place of not being good enough, in that it stems from a place of scarcity and lack. Somebody has something you don't have, and so you think that you are the person who is best qualified for it, or you feel jealous that they have it and you don't have it. And so you have to ask yourself certain questions. Why am I jealous of this person? What is it that they have that is making me want it? I mean, how do I cooperate with them? What is it about the success that makes me want it? And you don't always have to be jealous, and you don't even have to compete or compare. You can as well also start working towards getting it yourself, instead of being jealous that this person has this or that and you don't have it. And so he speaks on a lot of things, on fear, on discomfort, on worry, on lack of motivation, procrastination, one of my favorite topics, because I like to procrastinate a lot. In fact, I should have recorded this video a long time ago, and that is how bad it is. So he gives us tips on how we can let go of these things, even depression. If it's not clinical depression, he gives tips on how you can come out of depression or not even fall into one yourself. Procrastination, how you cannot procrastinate and why you should not procrastinate, and if this thing is important to you, how you can work around it. So Master Your Emotion is such a great book. I read it in one day. In fact, it's not bulky at all, but there's so much information packed in the book. So I'd like you to go back to part 1 and watch from part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4, and also get a copy of the book and read to help yourself master your emotion, to be able to live a happy life. And even if negative emotions arises, you can use them to your growth. Anyway, thank you so much for watching up to this far. Subscribe to the channel, and I will be bringing you more amazing videos on how we can become better, how we can grow. See you later. Bye.